fun day. We hope everyone's day is off to a magical start. Today, Eric and I wanted to discuss the Disney FastPass versus the Universal Express Pass options. You know, these days, you can't just show up to the park, or you shouldn't just show up to the park without some type of, I guess, reservation for your rides. You know, back in the day, you just showed up and you got in line. These days, with the way things are going, very high tech, if you show up to Disney or Universal sometimes without some type of, I guess, reservation or
just a plan.
Just a plan, right.
Yeah. You'll find yourself standing in longer lines than you anticipated.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about it. So I think this is the first video we've done where we really start to bring Universal into the picture.
Right.
And so this channel is called Disney on a Dime, and you're gonna hear this as a recurring thing. We are gonna talk a lot about Universal. We really like Universal. You'll hear us say that over and over again. And it's important when you're going to either park to think about their ride reservation systems. And what's interesting, Universal and Disney have taken two very different approaches to how you can kind of skip the lines. So Disney has what's called the FastPass system.
Right.
The FastPass system is very democratic. It can be linked to your Magic Band. We'll do another videos on Magic Band.
Right.
Or just linked to your park ticket. And basically what it allows you to do, and you don't even have to have a ticket to the park to do this, 30 to 60 plus days in advance, you can book out the 3 rides that day you want to ride. You can only do 3 for Disney.
Right.
You can only do 3 rides. They could be at any of the 4 Disney parks. And you can say, you know, 30 days out or even 60 days out, depending on where you're staying, and we're going to talk about that, you can reserve your ride. So if I know I really want to ride, if I know I'm leaving 2 weeks from now, and I really, really want to ride, you pick a ride. What do you really want to ride 2 weeks from now?
Well, this one, we probably wouldn't even need one for, but Spaceship Earth.
Okay. So you're going to Epcot, and you really want to ride Spaceship Earth 2 weeks from now, you can reserve it on that day and say, at this time, Spaceship Earth is what I want to ride.
Right.
Doesn't require you purchase a ticket, doesn't require any money. You do need to sign up for the Disney My Experience account. And we're going to show that in screenshots like we normally do. So we'll show the act of logging in, someone doing that.
Yeah.
And that's free. And I like that about Disney because it's very democratic.
Right.
What I don't like about it is
it's very democratic.
Yeah. So talk to them about your experience when the FastPass first came out years ago, when we first started using it versus now.
All right, so years ago, again, I feel like I've said this in every video. We're getting ready to go to Disney, you know, in a few weeks now. So this will be, I think, our 45th trip to Disney. And so back in the golden age of Walt Disney World,
back when we were young,
you could just, you know, show up. And I think I said this, you can just get in line. Now, when you show up, gosh, guys, you're waiting in the queues forever.
Even with the FastPass,
because everyone has a FastPass.
People know about it.
So it's like, is it really a FastPass if we all have them now?
So what I would say about it now is you have to get it.
You have to.
Because if you don't, you're going to be waiting in the longer lines. Now you can only get 3.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use it for everything, but definitely get it. They actually, I think, have FastPass kiosks in the park. But
they do.
But honestly, by that time, it's too late. You want to get it before.
Yeah, because all the slots are kind of taken up.
Yeah.
So the people who you see in the park have already reserved the FastPasses for around that time of day. So if you're in the park the same time they're in the park and you're at one of the kiosks trying to reserve a time, chances are they're probably already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, they made it democratic, but like my wife said, that makes it a little bit, you know, more difficult. It's not really a FastPass anymore. It's just kind of reserving your rides.
Right. Everyone has it now.
Yeah. So if you're not a planner, it kind of sucks because you can't, you know,
you can't just show up to the park. Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, when you think of vacation, you think of carefree and just relaxed. But with the FastPass system at Disney, there's a lot of planning and that's required before you show up. You know, we've talked about the reservations for dining and all those types of things. You really, nowadays at Disney, you will be doing yourself a disservice if you just show up.
Yeah. So like you just said, you wanted a FastPass for Spaceship Earth. So now you got to know what day you're going to Epcot to reserve that FastPass, and then any dining plans that go along with that should also be at Epcot.
Yep, and also if you are trying to, let's say we wanted to do a ride before Spaceship Earth, a ride after Spaceship Earth, we have to give ourselves enough time to kind of navigate throughout the parks where the times aren't kind of overlapping. Because what's our grace on that? About 15 minutes?
Yeah, you get an hour window, and you'll see this when we sign up for it. Generally, if you show up late, sometimes they'll let you board, but you know, it just depends.
Yeah.
Also, and this goes back to the park hopper conversation. So we have a whole other video about park hopping.
We'll leave that link below.
This is another reason why I don't think you should do more than one park a day. It's easier to do systems like FastPass when you're only at one park.
One park.
Because you can do a FastPass. You could be at Spaceship Earth and then say, I'm gonna ride Space Mountain and Magic Kingdom on the same day. You can do that with the FastPass.
I wouldn't suggest you doing that with a bunch of people in your family. I just would not.
Now, on the bright side, realistically, for rides that aren't as popular,
Spaceship Earth,
Figment at Epcot, you don't have to have a fast pass. Like, we've gotten on Pirates of the Caribbean without a fast pass.
Yeah, we have. A lot of those are maybe like a 20-minute wait. You know, sometimes even less than that, especially for Figment. And again, this is all just kind of based on what type of year, what time of year you're actually going. I don't know if I'd even try to, you know, get to Epcot and get on Figment around spring break without a fast pass. Everything is probably going to fill up around
spring break, 4th of July, Christmas, Halloween, everything is full. So So you ready? Or should we talk about Universal now?
Yeah.
All right. Universal is taking, to me, the exact opposite approach. It's not democratic at all. At Universal, you pay to ride to get the Express Pass. The Express Pass is essentially a separate line where you avoid the regular line, and only people that have either paid for the Express Pass or stayed at specific Universal resorts, and we're going to talk about which resorts, get that special line.
Yes.
And the line is for every ride except for, there are a few Harry Potter rides, so you can use the Express Pass on every ride except for...
Looking at his notes.
So at Universal Studios, it's Harry Potter and Escape from the Green Guys. We love that ride. You can't use it on that. You can't use it on Hogwarts.
It's a nice queue though. That makes it okay, I think, to kind of wait in line at Universal. It's a really nice queue.
There's some great bloggers that have shown that queue. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You can't use it on Hogwarts Express to London, which is the train that takes you back and forth between parks. You can't use it on Kang and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl. I don't even know what that is. We've never ridden that one.
No, I don't know what that one is.
At Islands of Adventure, which is their other park, you can't use it on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So essentially the two big expensive Harry Potter rides, you can't use it on those.
Okay.
The Hogwarts Express train and Pterodon Flyers, which is like one of the dinosaur rides. And the hotels that you need to stay at to get it included are Lowe's Portofino Bay, Orlando Hard Rock Hotel, and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. So those are all Universal on-property resorts.
Okay. We've never stayed at those, but I know you've actually gone over and visited them. You toured them during some of our stays. How do you feel about those three?
So this is one of my downsides. I love the Express Pass. My two downsides are the hotels that you have to get at Universal. They're okay. I would say for what I wouldn't view them as luxe resorts.
Okay.
I think the three of those could use a little bit of upkeep. Like I walked through Portofino Bay. It you know, it was all right.
It's showing its age.
It's showing a little bit of its age. That's where Hard Rock is a little bit.
Okay. And you know, guys, like we've said before, everyone isn't looking for the same thing as it relates to hotels. We have been to Disney so many times. We stay in a lot of hotels, and I think we've just gotten to a point where the hotel is a really big factor, a big part of our vacation. So for us, those three would not be, I don't know, a reason for us to stay to get the Fast Pass, the Express Pass. We probably just rather just go ahead and pay for it. But if you're a person, you know, you don't really care about the hotel, you're just looking for somewhere to sleep and wake up and get out and have your fun with your family, I think it's a great idea. Especially,
and if you're gonna blow out, if you're doing like 5 days at Universal, get it. Because then you don't have to buy 5 days of Express Passes. And just be clear, it's only those 3 Universal hotels, because we've stayed at the 2 Universal Value Resorts, which are Cabana Bay and Sapphire Falls, and you do not get it.
You do not get it.
Even though they're Universal, you do not get it. It is only, again, Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, and Lowe's Pacific.
The older, and those are the 3 older hotels on their property too. So.
The other downside is obviously the price. They're not cheap. You're going to see when we're going to show you buying it here in a minute. It does effectively almost double the price of the ticket.
And I think, babe, you should mention too that you know, when you get your ticket is for, you know, however many days you get your ticket. You don't have to buy, you know, continue to buy tickets. However, if you are getting the express pass,
you have to buy for each day.
That's per day. So you could potentially theoretically buy a 5-day universal ticket, right? Stay with me, a 5-day ticket. You might only get the express pass for 1 or 2 of those days. Right.
And when you buy the express pass, and this is unique for the express pass, you have to pick the date on which you want to use it. For that reason, and listen carefully, people, I always wait until the last possible minute to buy my express pass. Why? Because if I'm gonna dole out the extra money for an express pass, I don't want it to be on a day where there is 100% chance of rain.
Right. And so I think, Eric, we should go and show them exactly how much these express passes are, everything that you entailed, and also I guess kind of, you know, compare and contrast the fast pass to the express pass.
And you guys can make your own decision.
Okay, so as you can see, I've logged into the traditional Disney website, and one of the things we recommend throughout these videos, whether it's dining reservations or fast passes or linking to your Magic Band, go ahead and create your Disney username and ID, because it's going to allow you to do all of those things. It's going to allow you to link your Magic Band, your dining reservations, your fast passes, all using the Disney My Experience app. So here we're really utilizing the My Experience app, you know, more from the traditional internet site webpage, but you're also going to see us utilize it on the mobile application. And you'll see us do that in a lot of our videos, whether it's dining reservations or fast passes. We want to show you how to do it on the internet, but also how to access it from the mobile app. So here on the internet site, I've logged in under my username and password. So I'm going to select Get Started under FastPass Plus. And as I do this, you can select your FastPass party. So, you know, obviously I'm going to ride it. I'm going to, you know, select this FastPass for myself. And then I'm going to select the folks that I'm also booking the FastPass for. So I'm going to select my son, Chase, and my wife, Tan. Now,
I'm sorry, babe. All right, guys. So really quickly, I think it's really neat that you have the option of choosing the character you want to be yourself or the other members of your family. As you can see here, Chase is Donald Duck. And a few videos ago, we talked about how Chase just really had a real fondness for Donald Duck. So of course, that was the obvious choice for him. Of course, I would be a princess. And Eric, why are you Goofy?
I'm going to change that. I don't think that's accurate. I do think you look like Princess Tiana a little bit.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right, so and even if, you know, what's nice about this too, so you can have a lot of family members whose accounts or fast passes are linked to yours. So my wife has her own Disney account, but we've linked our fast passes, and these other two at the bottom that we're not going to select or use, these are my parents, so they went with us years ago, and we booked all their fast passes for them along with ours. So it's nice when you have, you know, other family members, you know, small children, maybe relatives that you're bringing with you, where you're doing the planning for everyone. So we're going to go ahead and click next. Now we're going to select the date for our fast pass. Now you'll notice as we look at this calendar, so we're filming this video on March 27th. So today is the 27th. If we go forward in time, so obviously we're going to book this to the future, you'll notice we can book out as far as the 26th, right? The 26th is in blue here if you can kind of see it in the video. If we get out to the 27th, it's grayed out. I can't select the 27th. It won't let me select it. The reason it's grayed out is because we're staying off property. I don't have a Disney hotel reservation linked to my account because we're not staying at a Disney hotel. So that is one of the advantages of staying at a Disney hotel, is you can book fast passes 60 days out.
And guys, you know, in a previous video also we mentioned that, you know, for a time we did nothing but stay on Disney property. But, you know, as you mature with your Disney experiences over time, you kind of outgrow some things. And so right now we are currently making the Waldorf Astoria in Orlando our home away from home when we are there vacationing. So unfortunately, like Eric said, we do not have the advantage of, you know, booking really, really far out. But I'm sure Eric will mention too that for some people, you know, being able to book that far out isn't a real
right. So you use the word advantage.
Yeah.
It's an advantage. So generally you don't have problems getting fast passes. Even a few days out, you can get fast passes for most rides, except for the new rides. Where you really need to get a fast pass 60 days out is for really new rides that have been out only a couple of years. That would be Frozen, Ever After over at Epcot, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Avatar. I can guarantee you the new Avatar land that's going up at Animal Kingdom, you won't be able to get a fast pass for that unless you're staying on property. So it just depends on how important are these rides for you. The rides that have been there for years, you would have no problem getting a fast pass for. Even sometimes on the day you can get a fast pass, but I guarantee you the more popular new rides, you will not get a fast pass for staying on property.
Right. And so because we, visit Disney so much, we just kind of take our time. We're not really worried about, being one of the first to ride the new rides. We know that we will continuously come back. So, we'll get on it eventually.
Yeah. And that's just something to think about. A lot of this channel is going to be about hotels. We've already done one hotel video. And that hotel video was specifically about hotels for large families. But what you'll see on all of our videos is that we're going to talk about on-property, off-property, value versus high-end luxe. We've done them all. But one of the things to think about, no matter what hotel you're talking about, is the whole fast pass, how that plays into your stay and how important that is. So in this example, we're going to say, let's book something for April 14th. And just to show you an example, so we're off property, we're only booking out, April 14th is just around the corner. So let's see what's available at Magic Kingdom. So we'll click on Magic Kingdom. Now what's nice about this is you can either book by block of time, right? So we can pick morning, afternoon, evening, and it'll give us a few different alternatives. If we're in the morning, it'll give us 3 different alternatives. Or you can select a specific time if you really want to be very specific. And if we scroll all the way down, you will see, lo and behold, what is currently unavailable.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Right. We are still unable to ride it.
And I think that's been out a couple of years, and it's still very difficult to get fast passes.
Unless, however, you are staying on property.
However, if we wanted to ride Tomorrowland Speedway, we could book that at 11:15. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind. The My Experience app does a really good job of organizing your fast passes. So basically in a day you can get 3 fast passes, and it will not let your fast pass times overlap. So you don't have to worry about fast pass times overlapping. It'll flag an error if you try to do that. But what can happen, you can have a dining reservation that overlaps. So you wouldn't want to have the Tomorrowland Speedway Fast Pass starting 11:15, and you also have a lunch reservation that starts at the same time. So you just want to double check. It doesn't typically tell you, I don't think, where you have a dining reservation overlap, because sometimes a little bit of overlap might be okay, right? But you don't want them to be right on top of each other. So just be aware of that. Think about that on your schedule. Go back and review your schedule and just make sure. But if we were to book Tomorrowland at 11:15, we could go ahead and do that and just confirm it, and that would be booked. And once I'm in the park, obviously I'm not going to be coming back to this internet site, but I could pull it up on my phone and it would tell me when that fast pass was. And that's actually what we're going to look at next, is how does this look on your mobile application, on your phone, on your Android or your Apple device. Okay guys, so now let's look at the experience of reserving a fast pass using the mobile app.
All right, babe, before you get too in depth in that, or too deep in this part of the video, I want to kind of recap, guys. So just to kind of reiterate, if you are staying off property, you get up to 30 days to book your fast pass reservations. However, if you are staying on property, of course, you get the 60 days, right? However, a little bonus to that, your stay, if you are staying, let's say 5 days on Disney property, you now get an additional 5 days to add to that 60, giving you 65 days to book out for your fast pass. I hope I made that pretty clear.
So you're saying it's 60 days plus the length of stay. So if you were staying 14 days, you would have 74 days in advance
to book out in advance. So that's another plus for staying on Disney property.
Well, thanks for going in and reading the fine print. And you got to read the fine print. Well, we're doing it for you. We're reading the fine print for you, because I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's book a fast pass through the mobile app. I've logged in to the My Experience app on my phone here. We're going to go to this little guy here, this menu, and we're going to do our FastPass Plus. So we're going to click right there. And this is going to look very similar to the experience on the internet site. We're just going to click Get Started there. I'm going to pick out the folks in my party, my son, and I guess I'll let you go, Tan.
Oh, fine.
thanks.
All right.
Maybe I'll get another room.
Then we'll hit continue. We'll pick our date. So, right now, today is the 27th. So once again, I can start today. And then let's see how far we can go into the future. And just like before, the furthest out I can go is a month out because I don't have a Disney hotel reservation linked to this. I can only go out to the 26th. As my wife just stated, let's say we had a 5-day reservation at the Polynesian, then I could book out 65 days in advance. So we'd be, well into May and June at that point. But as it stands today, I can only go out to April 26th. Right. So let's try something on the 14th again. And I think last time we showed you that the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was not available at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Let's show you Epcot, and I will let you guys guess which ride is not going to be available. Now, just like on the internet site here, I can pick by a block of time. So I can say, just find something for me during the morning, afternoon, or evening. Or if we scroll across here, I can pick a specific time. And as we scroll down, or up, I should say, we can see all the things that are available. And pretty much, everything is unavailable except for dun dun dun. Big surprise.
You didn't really expect that to be there, did you?
I did not. Yeah. So again, this is what you got to think about. If I've got, a small child that really likes Frozen and they have to ride Frozen, then you might have to stay on Disney property.
Right.
If you are like us and have been many times, our child obviously is not into Frozen. Stuff like that isn't a big deal. So just something to think about. So there are also, and this is a good point to make too that I hadn't thought about. Some of this stuff is kind of like meet and greet stuff as well. It's not all rides. So for example, if you wanted to meet a specific character, they do have some character meet and greets on here, right? So if I wanted to meet Mickey and friends at Epcot Future World, they do have some of those on here. If I wanted to do Turtle Talk with Crush, that's more of a character experience. I could select that. And then I would just simply confirm that. And I could continue to book FastPasses on the same day. So what's nice is it asks you for FastPasses on the same day. And it'll let you book up to 3 a day. So I could continue and go through this process over again and book another FastPass. In this case, I'm just going to view my selections. And there it is. Now, if I want to see my reservations, so if I go to my reservations, I'm in the park, it actually has a list of my FastPass experiences. So it does keep track of everything. It's got the list for you. Again, you just want to make sure that your FastPass experiences don't conflict with your dining reservations because it's all here in the mobile app. You just want to double check and make sure that nothing overlaps.
So here I've logged into the Universal Studios Florida website, and I'm just on the traditional Universal Studios website. We're not going to show the mobile app in this video. And, as we talked about during the introduction, we do love Universal. Disney's always going to be our first love, but we definitely love Universal. We think it's got a lot to offer for those of you vacationing to Orlando. Definitely don't overlook Universal. And, as we do more and more videos, we will get into and show more and more Universal apps if that's what you guys want to see. So definitely leave your comments on the video if you'd like to see more about Universal and some of the Universal mobile apps and behind the scene things that you can do. But in this example, we'll just keep it simple. We're just going to buy a 1-day, single-day ticket for one adult. We're not going to, do any park hopping. We're just going to go to Universal Studios Florida for a day for a single adult. And what we've got to do, right, this is a little bit different from a FastPass. With a FastPass, you're basically just booking a reservation for a ride sometime in the future. With the Express Pass, you're essentially buying a ticket that allows you to get into a special Express Pass line where you can skip the regular line. And the only people that can do that, again, are people that are staying at, 3 of their on-property resorts. And those are the 3 we talked about in the intro, or people that buy this Express Pass. So it is an additional fee, but you get your own line. It's not a reservation system. It's basically a VIP system where you get to stand in a shorter special line. And it works for, I think, just about every ride.
Right. It works for all rides, guys, except for your Harry Potter rides. So unfortunately, even though you buy this Express Pass edition, the Harry Potter rides are not going to be applicable.
Okay, that's good to know. So we're going to click on Explore Tickets. And we're going to keep this really simple to keep the math simple. We're going to do one adult for 1 day, right? And you'll notice when you buy the tickets, they're pretty open as far as the base, park ticket. But you do have the concept of a value ticket versus an anytime ticket. So for example, the anytime tickets are the dark blue. So if I buy a ticket on the 7th, right, I could use that ticket during any of the dark blue days. And that ticket is going to be $124. One adult, one park. So again, we're not doing any park hopping. We're not doing the park to park where I could do 2 parks in 1 day. We did another video, and you should check that out, on park hopping and why we think, it's sometimes, not for everyone. Definitely watch that video. Now, we talked about it from a Disney perspective, but I think a lot of the stuff that we talked about from a Disney perspective also applies to Universal, right? You just got to be careful, trying to do both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure on the same day, because those are two pretty big parks. So we are a big believer in just doing 1 park per day. Now, right now, this is a peak season ticket, so it's $124. Let's say we're going to do a value ticket. Okay? The price drops to $110. So now the ticket is, you basically save $14. And just to verify and confirm with you guys, again, we haven't booked the Express Pass yet. This is just
your base ticket.
Yep. So 1 park, Universal Studios, 1 day, 1 adult, on the 28th, which is value season.
With no additions just yet.
No additions. We haven't added the Express Pass, so we're going to add this to our cart. And then we'll see what additions we can add to our cart. So we'll click Next. And I actually think this is a bug, because we've gone through this a couple of times. I only want 1 pass. I don't know why it keeps changing it to 2. So we're going to do 1 pass.
I think they're running some type of special. I think on the main page, buy 2 tickets, get 2 days or something like that. So I think they're trying to get you to go ahead and do their little deal. Okay.
Well, since in theory I'm traveling solo in this example, I'm going to do 1 adult, 1 pass. Now, obviously, I didn't do park hopper, so I can't do both parks. Right. That's something to keep in mind. If you're only doing 1 park, only get the Express Pass for the park you're going to. Mm-hmm. So here we're only doing Universal Studios, right? And you have the Unlimited Pass, Express Pass versus the base Express Pass. So, babe, can you explain the difference between the Unlimited and the Express?
All right. Well, so the Unlimited gives you the opportunity to ride a particular ride over and over and over again. Let's say you're doing the Mummy, right? It's one of your family's favorite rides.
And one of your favorites too, right?
I know I do not like the Mummy, but it's one of your favorites. So you have an individual or individuals in your family and who really enjoy that ride. So you want to get the Unlimited. That way you get on and get off, get on and get off.
In the Express Pass line every time.
Every time in the Express lane. However, if you get the, just your regular basic pass, you're just going to be able to ride it, that one time.
Yeah. And they scan your card so they know how many times you've ridden it. So don't try to beat the system.
They know how many times you've been on there. And of course, there is a cost associated with that. The Unlimited is going to be, a little bit more.
Yeah. You can see there's a pretty, like a $25 price difference.
All right, per person, per ticket.
Yep, $75 versus $60. So a $15 price difference. Mm-hmm. So typically we do the base Express Pass because there are a lot of rides. For us, we find it difficult to ride, over and over again. But if you're going to be at the park all day and have the energy and you want to really knock it out, you can get the Unlimited. So let's do the Express Pass. We have a date in mind. Mm-hmm. So remember, we kind of said the 28th. So it's going to be $70. And, all of these dates, especially when you talk about the Express Pass, this is one of the reasons I wait a little bit until the last minute to book a Universal Express Pass, because you're paying extra. So if I'm going to pay $70 extra for an Express Pass, I want it to be on a day with great weather. I don't want to book and pay $70 extra and there's a 100% chance of rain or a tornado warning,
right?
Because they're not going to refund this. So I generally will wait till I can get a good 2-3 day forecast, understanding that Florida weather is really unpredictable, and wait till the weather is really good before I dole out the extra $70. Mm-hmm. Kind of the way I think of the Express Pass, effectively you're almost doubling the price of your ticket, right? Roughly, a Universal ticket's roughly $100 per person per day. Express Pass, now you're looking at, the $200 range. So that's a good way to think about it.
Right. And again, too, depending on the type of the time of the year that you're traveling, if you're going during peak season, let's say right now we're spring break, it'll be 4th of July soon, I think the Express Pass is a really good option. Some of these queues can get really, really long. So having an opportunity to kind of bypass those lines, if you can, you know, afford to dole out the extra cash is...
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And there's all kind of other extras as you might expect. You can add in a character breakfast. There's a VIP experience. We've never done that, but I've seen other vlogs where folks have done it. You essentially get backstage access to some of the shows and some of the rides, so it looks like a neat experience. You can add in Blue Man Group tickets, and there's a dining plan. So we've done a video on the Disney dining plan. Let us know in the comments below.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you'd like for us to, if you've either done the Universal Dining Plan and what your thoughts are on it, or if you'd like us to do a video on it.
Yeah, I would really, again, we've never done it. So guys, if you have actually done it, like Eric said, let us know below in the comments how you like it, what all does it encompass. You know, I think some of the other viewers here on the channel will be interested in knowing about it as well.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and click next and let's finish this up. So we have, and again, I don't know, I think there's a bug on the site. It keeps trying to sell me 2 tickets. I only want 1 ticket. So let's drop this back down to 110. So essentially, like I told you guys, it basically doubled my price. Me going by myself is $110 just for Universal Studios, and the Express Pass, and I did the Unlimited, adds another $90. So $200. But again, as my wife said, we've done this before. I think it was worth the money. There's a lot of different options to weigh how patient are you, what time of year you're going. If you're going during the off season and the lines are going to be short, you know, maybe you can get away with not doing it. If you're going in the middle of spring break and you have, you know, 3 or 4 demanding kids with you that are impatient, you might want to, you know, dole out the extra money and try to save somewhere else, because it is really neat to be able to get right on some of these rides.
I can recall us bypassing like
Minions.
Looks like a 2-hour queue for Minions, and people, you know, looking, have their jaws drop. Like, who are these people who get to just bypass the entire line?
And it isn't just it isn't just the folks that buy the Express Pass. If you stay at the 3 Universal resorts, there's 3 of them, and we talked about this during the intro. If you stay at one of those resorts, you also get the Express Pass as part of your stay, as we mentioned during the intro. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So also think about, you know, do I want to stay at some of the Universal hotels? Does that take some of the sting out of this if it's free? And you'll see us do more and more videos about, you know, Universal's hotels specifically and what they have to offer.
All right, guys. So once again, we took you through the interactive process of physically going in and booking the Fast Pass and purchasing the Express Pass. We showed the Disney mobile app. We haven't showed the Universal mobile app yet. We're gonna get more and more into Universal on these videos. If that's what you guys want to see, let us know. We can start to really get more on the Universal side, because as I said, we really like Universal.
Yeah,
this is a Disney channel, but we like Universal.
We do both.
Yeah, we do both.
We do both. Well, that's it, guys. We hope that you have found this video very informative. If you have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to leave them below in the comments. And so, as always, guys, don't forget to make every day magical.